I really want to look at SSG. I won't lie to you guys. I want to look at SSG. Can you guys hear that siren in the background? London Live. Let's get into game. I do like the way Daniel plays, so let's watch a bit of Daniel. You know what I said about efficiency, guys? Efficiency is the most beautiful thing in Rocket League. It's why I really enjoy watching BDS play. It's one of the biggest factors that made G2 better, apart from Atomic coming on, and obviously Atomic is very good with his mechanics. But they all got more efficient when Atomic was on board, and I don't know if that came from confidence, whether they worked on it specifically or what, but that was the biggest difference I saw between Fall and Winter when they started playing a lot better. And Daniel is a prime example of a very efficient player. And if you look at his boost amounts all the time, he always has more boosts than most people in that situation would have. You see there, look at that decision, right? That decision to go for a 50-50 here gets the ball to a teammate behind him, because when you 50-50 a ball, the most likely place for your teammates to be is behind you or to the side of you. We all know that, right? So losing this 50-50, losing it as in letting it go behind you in a controlled way, is probably the best thing to do here. But then we also see the recovery speed from this decision that he's gone for is much faster. See, like that. Boom. And then that actually set up a touch for... It's that LJ coming in, right? So it set up a shot for LJ. Meanwhile, Daniel is pretty much fully recovered by the time LJ hits this ball, right? You see, this moment, LJ's connecting with this ball. Daniel's already going back with 100 boost, right? These are the kind of decisions that are that of top 10 players, top 20 players, you know? Yeah, let's see. Yeah, great shot there from Arsenal. But yeah, that all comes back to Daniel's efficiency. So yeah, using less than 300 boost per minute depends on the level you're playing at, because the higher the level you are, the more boost you'll probably need to use. Just because the game is much more aerial based, and in order to fly you need boost. It's not just about using less boost, but it's about picking up more boost without taking yourself out of the play so much, right? So picking up pads, recovering faster, and so on. It's one of those weird ones where, like, being more efficient with your boost is important, but also using your boost is important. It's a resource that needs to be used. It's kind of like, you know, when you save money, but there's a sweet spot of saving money where you're actually enjoying life, because you're not like saving all of your money, so you do get to do things you want to do, but then you also have that, you know, like, oh, I actually do need, LJ, I do need to save a bit more money. That sort of boost, right? You want to be as efficient as possible whilst doing everything you need to do. Jeez! That's well and truly going, Retals, I've taken your spot. Retals, down! I've taken your spot. Oh, no, Retals did well though. This new team is quite exciting. The Optic team plays so differently. Which is fun to see, but yeah, I think LJ is an amazing decision. I think he'll do amazing here. I'm excited to see him play. I just want to see Daniel playing without the need to be the only player doing the mechanical plays. Like Retals and Arsenal started doing it a bit more towards the end of the season, but they both really wanted to be the disruptor. You know, the off the ball player, the one who gets the bumps, the one who goes for the fake challenges and so on. Whereas it's now a bit more exciting because LJ can take a little bit of the on-the-ball work off of Daniel, meaning Daniel doesn't have to only be an outplayer. He can look to be a bit more of a support player. And he's so good at that. Daniel's so good at playing defensively and making good decisions. For a mechanical player, Daniel's definitely one of the more decision-strong mechanical players out there, I'd say. Okay, right. So one thing I am seeing from LJ so far is he does seem to munch a lot of boost. And it looks quite nervy. So like this little patch here, look at the little bits of boost being used. That to me looks like nervous boost, which means he's going to find himself in low boost situations quite a lot. But they also seem to be the chasey disruptor role a lot. So you have to be a little bit more liberal with your boost as the chasey disruptor role. but I need to see them accepting that they're rotating out from time to time. Like right here, you see this pressure. You need to be putting this pressure on whilst gaining boost. And there's not enough gaining of boost here with the pads. And then you can just see like that turn in there, dodgy. That's not good signs right there. But outside of that, I think they're pretty good. I think a lot of this will be down to nerves from LJ and just sort of time with Chrome and understanding their role in the team. But you can just see a little bit of getting out of place. Because that touch there is what sort of led to the goal. Because then Arsenal had to panic. Daniel panic rushed that ball, but AJ beat them. And then you can just see Retals... Retals read them completely here. Like Retals could just see they were panicking. So he's just chilling off the line a bit and just waiting for the mistake. You can see here, this is just such good control. Good 50 from Daniel. Look, he's got 70 boost still. So he can go for this play. Like, how good is this? I love to look at players and see what they've done since they picked up 100, right? Obviously, he picked up both hundreds, kind of boost-starved Arsenal with that, but that's fine. Because they might have taken it, the opposition might have taken it. Just recognises here that AJ is not going to be able to get a read on that because of the way that popped out. And has to go for the boost. So takes the time and uses all 100 of that boost to score the goal. Respect to the Rule 1. Was there a Rule 1 going on? Oh, yeah. It was a 2v2 the whole time. Oh, look at that. Good work, Gregan, for reading that. I mean, Daniel's one of the best 2v2 players in the game. So, you'd happily take a 2v2. Okay. Ah, really nice. So you can see LJ is very effective with boost. LJ's got amazing mechanics. Overuses the boost a little bit. Definitely thought that was a goal there. You saw he stopped moving. This is them vibing probably. I'd love to hear the comms for that. It's looking good for SSG. I'm excited for these guys. I haven't really spoken much about Optic during this. I'll have a look at Optic a little bit more in the next game. I think the way I'm seeing it is there is a little bit of a lack of team synergy so far. There's a lot of gaps in their rotation, but we'll see in the next game. We'll look at a bit more detail. Yeah, let's have a look at Magic Bear. Because I know Retals and AJ pretty well as players. I haven't seen much of Magic Bear. I'll be interested to see AJ now on a team where he can flourish doing what he could do well. AJ had a lot of poor positioning and efficiency issues, which led to a lot of goals against FaZe. But yeah, let's have a little watch of Magic Bear. How much of this first goal? Yeah, Retals has not had a good time there. Retals needs to be going for that. Like, AJ's done a good little 50-50 on the wall there. 50 again there, good stuff. Bumped Daniel, given Retals the time. But Retals has misread this and should be getting that. So, like, AJ's disrupted well here, right? Oh, we love a wall dash here. Let's watch that again. 50, wall dash. Let's go, baby. Wasn't even it probably wasn't the right decision. That wall dash, though, was nice. Oh, I don't like the stopping there. The stopping here is a bit dodgy. Because now, look how much he's taken himself out of the game. Such low boost as well. Gets bumped. But yeah. This goal has just come from... Like, Magic Bear right here is thrown off by Retals, right? Like, if Retals is called that he can't go for that, fair enough. But you can just see the delay in that communication. Yeah, that led to the goal. Yeah, I mean, Retals could have just gone from the ground, right? Like, I respect him. He's quite a grounded player, Retals, so he likes to stay grounded if he can. So I understand why he went up the wall. But in that situation, he probably didn't even need to. But it's easy to say that in hindsight. High pressure gameplay. Sees the demo, probably thinks he's got more time, but then Arsenal just turned, you know? See, like, stuff like that, right? This is what I'm talking about the knowing your teammates kind of thing, right? Like right here, Magic Bear's got that boost. So knowing where he wants it is a little thing that just comes with a bit of time. Like if you were playing with, I don't know, like a grounded player, they're probably going to want it where AJ's put it, even though it was a bit at him. I think it was a little bit of mechanical error here, but if you're playing with a player who likes being high in the air, then you maybe put it up the wall, and so on and so on. It just takes a bit of time to get used to it, and obviously right now, it's not coming naturally, so they're going to have to think about these decisions, where as time goes on, you just instinctually go, right, my teammate likes it high. Sometimes, you know, you've got some players who are really good at reading it off the ceiling, so you just clang it high into the ceiling, knowing they're going to beat people out to the ball, right? So yeah, it just sort of comes with a bit of time. Ooh. That's a really nice play by Magic Bear. Retals a bit too tight to Magic Bear there. Again, you can see the Retals decision making here is to boom it towards the net. A lot of players right there would take it high and go for the double. Sorry about the loud car that just went by. So you can see here, this is one of AJ's biggest issues that Daniel's punishing. He goes at the play a lot and then same side rotates back up the wall, which leaves him a bit vulnerable to being outplayed or bumped. You can see that movement there. To be fair, Daniel has just absolutely rinsed the whole team, taking it past 2. Yeah, so this AJ is getting punished a little bit for one of his bad habits. I'm seeing this a lot from Retals as well, of like taking it up the wall, and then that's the teammates just aren't reacting to this stuff very well. Like Magic Bear seems a little bit slow to react to the Retals situation here. Like I would say Magic Bear needs to be pushing through the middle of the pitch there to support Retals. You see, it's just a delay in that decision making. So yeah, it's just it's these little tiny things that will come with time, I think, for them once they get used to each other. I know for a fact that SSG are one of the teams that are going to have the most synergy of the new teams, just based off of hearing what Chrome said about them, that they put a lot of work in during the off-season compared to a lot of other teams who are quite recently formed. You know, they were one of the earlier teams to make their decisions, so they probably had a bit more time to work on stuff. And there's also an element of honeymoon with the way their team has formed. You know, like Daniel's going to be feeling more comfortable with LJ. They've wanted to play together for a while, as far as I know. So this is why I think SSG have been one of the early winners in this first tournament. I think a lot of teams need to understand that pre-season is a thing that they might need to do. Like, RLCS comes around after a long off-season, and there's a lot of teams who haven't done any huge amount of preparation. You know, teams should be looking to do boot camp, should be looking to grind scrims, like putting way more in than they do at any other time of the year, because this is the most important time to get ahead of the curve. If you leave it too late, you're already missing out on that early seeding advantage, you're missing out on all those early gains. It's kind of like in sport, right? You do your hard work in the off-season to grind in preparation for the season. It's just Arsenal being Arsenal. Like, how'd you read that? Good old Arsenal, just throwing off the opponents. So what have we learned from SSG, Optic? SSG looking like they're reading each other's decisions well. I would say LJ fits really well into it as another disruptor, gives Arsenal less of an on-the-ball role and more of an off-the-ball role, which is good. Means Daniel can play third a bit more and take control of that ball deep and start those 1v2, 1v3 outplays, which is nice. And doesn't need to worry about the pressure of losing it too much because he hasn't got two teammates in front of him disrupting as often. In terms of Optic's side, I would say there's a lack of understanding of each other at this stage because they obviously formed a bit later in the off-season. I think Magic Bear is being a bit hesitant to read his teammates' touches, and Needs to just like push into the space a bit more just to try and be first to situations. And then also like a little bit of mechanical mistakes here and there from Retals, decision-making mistakes. And then AJ, same AJ mistakes before of like rotating slightly odd, putting him in unorthodox positions. But when he's got space, he's on the ball. Looks like one of the best in the lobby. So I'd say that's my summary of SSG and Optic. I want to have a look at the stats. Okay, yeah, this sort of makes a lot of sense. And then it should be demos a bit higher. Yeah, demos a bit higher for Arsenal. You see that there? Makes sense. LJ's getting demoed a lot because he gets static when he uses up all his boosts. He finds himself on 0 boost a lot, which hopefully we'll see in the boost now. LJ time 0 boost. Actually, similar to Arsenal. Lowest average though. Arsenal's using up a lot of boost. But then he spends a lot more time off the ball, so he's probably boosting around, going for demos and stuff. Yeah, you can see like the overfill's a bit higher for these guys, where LJ finds himself on lower a little bit more. But yeah, it's not a huge amount there. Just a little bit lower average amount. I think if the boost efficiency could go up a little bit less time at 0 boost, a bit more time at 100, because I think there's a lot of just sort of bursting of boosts that's unnecessary, which is leading to a slightly lower average. Yeah, you can see Daniel sitting a lot deeper, which is good. I think Daniel suits that third role. I think sometimes having your strongest mechanical player sitting a bit further away and a bit deeper is good, because then they can pick up the loose ball with 100 boost and start doing some nasty stuff. Anyway, that was that.